This is POPlitics Live. I'm Alex Clark. I have been bringing you pop culture without the propaganda since 2019. And this is the first ever conservative pop culture show. By the way, it wasn't even thought of in the conservative movement when I started doing this. In fact, I got made fun of and roasted a lot for covering pop culture, and everybody thought it was kind of pointless. But I bring this up. I wanted to stress the pop culture part because I have made it a point to stick to that and not venture very much into hard news, at least not too much, because that's not my thing. That's not my forte. I don't pretend like it is. I think there's a lot of conservative commentators that can kind of pretend or lie to build a following and pretend like they're an expert on all these different things. I will be the first to tell you I'm not an expert on almost everything except pop culture. I'm an expert on pop culture. But when it comes to extremely difficult and complex things, political issues like foreign policy, I like to leave that to other people in the movement. I'm not an expert on the Middle East. I think that social media has made a game out of war. I think it's very obvious people who post certain things, about hot emotional topics like this where they really don't know very much. Like, it's okay to give your opinion, but to act like you're some kind of authority on this, I just think is very dangerous to do when there's a lot of misinformation going around about hot button things. And I think social media has really made just this whole thing a game. People pick a side. They act like they're an expert when they're not. They advocate for things that they don't fully understand, or that's not even directly affecting them or their families. And I think that's really stupid and reckless to do. So just number one, be cautious about war content that you're consuming by either side, the whatever. Be critical about every single piece of information or story that you see. That being said, I stand with Israel. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. I'm going to give you my short summary of thoughts. I have always stood with Israel. I have no problem saying that a terrorist organization ambushed, raped, and killed innocent civilians over the weekend. I am a Zionist because I believe that Israel has the right to exist. This is something that Palestinians do not want. They have not wanted for 75 years. And it was truly shocking. I mean, I guess it shouldn't be, but it was a little bit shocking to see the left do mental gymnastics all weekend, justifying ways to support Hamas after spending the last several years accusing everyone of being a Nazi. That was very interesting for me to watch. The most important thing now is for you to listen to different conservatives who are a lot smarter than me and figure out basically not if you support Israel or not. I know that everybody here supports Israel, which is great. But it's really to figure out if you think that the United States getting involved in this war is a good idea or not. That's really the conversation that conservatives need to be having. I think we've all established, obviously, we support and stand with Israel unequivocally. So one, I think it's interesting. Drop in the chat if you're for war or against getting involved in this war. Personally, I openly support Israel in this fight, but I have a non-interventionalist approach, and I do not think that it's a good idea for us to get involved in this war. Some conservatives disagree. That's fine. That's all part of a healthy, normal discourse, I think, with stuff like this. The interventionist adventures and excursions that the United States has involved ourselves with over the last 3 decades have been completely disastrous, in my opinion, to put it lightly. I think that in this situation, we get our hostages, we get out. I am praying every single night for those Americans that are trapped. I am praying every single night for the innocent people and children who are caught in the crossfire of a horrific and terrifying situation. It was very weird because I'm if you follow me on Instagram, then you saw I was having this amazing girls weekend with some of my close lifelong friends. And we're doing this glamping, very fun, silly girls night. And then this news is pouring in. And I was the one, all my friends are I have been drinking. And I'm you guys, this is a serious situation going on in Israel. Look at this, listen to this. And I was really dragging the night down. But it was very important to me to talk about it and at least share my thoughts with you. And I will say, if you're like, well, I don't know where to go to, this is all very over my head. I mean, most of this is over my head too. I loved listening to the Toast Girls, Jackie and Claudia. They're Jewish. They're also really good. They're also a pop culture podcast that's phenomenal. They're also really good at explaining the situation like you're five. So if this is all very complicated over your head and like the Ben Shapiros of the world are too complex for you, listen to the Toast episode from Monday. Monday, breaking all of this down. It's a very short episode. It's like under 30 minutes. That was really, really good. And then if you want the gritty, complex stuff, Ben Shapiro, obviously one of the best. But it's important to me. I wanted to say all that, and then I wanted to keep things rolling. You can go to 1,000 different people on the right for this type of war news and hard news. But we're going to stick with our mindless pop culture news for a little bit of a heartbreak. I think we all need a mind break. We all need a heartbreak. And just to kind of, step away from that for a second, have a little bit of fun, and then obviously go back to the important things. But anyway, I'm so glad that you're here. Subscribe, thumbs up this video as you join the live. Subscribe to the Real Alex Clark podcast if you're listening to this later. So the stories that we're going to be talking about today. Will and Jada Pinkett Smith have revealed that they have secretly been separated and have been living apart for 7 years, that Chris Rock had actually asked Jada out on a date before Slapgate. So this all plays into it, in my opinion. Netflix has a new docuseries. It's called Beckham, and it has reignited an infatuation with David and Victoria for me that I am very excited to talk about. JoshDML revealed that he is a doomsday prepper. He's a compound in Minnesota. Amazing pictures on that, and it's just kind of like funny. And I wanted to discuss just, the prep of it all. And then obviously I must discuss, which I was like, literally, they're telling me we're going live. They're counting me in, and I'm refreshing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, we're already selling out of sizes. I didn't even get to say anything yet. I didn't even get to describe it. New limited edition fall merch. Guys, first of all, I am so picky. I will not let anything release. I have to feel it first. I have to see the designs in person first. I am very picky about, number one, the actual shirt that the design is going on, but the designs themselves go through several drafts, with our in-house artists. We come up with an idea together, and then we go back and forth, and I give them notes on the design and all of that. Everything is handpicked by me for you with the best quality in mind always. But this time, as you will see, I went a little extra for you. I was like, you know what? Something we've never, ever done. We've never done anything embroidered. What if we? Just what if? What if we did it? So, new fall merch. 2 brand new Real Alex Clark items for fall. These are big. TPUSAmerch.com. Can they see it? Can you see the picture? This 2 beautiful items. I'm wearing one of them. I didn't want, so first of all, let me say this. We're going to start with what I'm wearing first, which is this soft, thin, spillover rose long sleeve tee. I didn't want this to be too hot for my girlies that run hot. So it's great for layering. I'm wearing this with leggings and sneakers right now. It's black. It has, on the front, a medium-sized gray rose. I can't tell where it is. Here it is. It has a medium gray rose on the front. So if you want to show just the long sleeve picture that shows the details of the long sleeve here, it's black. In the upper left corner, there's this rose. The sleeve has in bright blood orange. Geez, where am I? Here, wrong arm. The sleeve has a bright blood orange colored font. The sleeve says LYMIB, which stands for Love You, Mean It, Bye, and these really cute block letters that are very detailed. And the back says the spillover with Alex Clark, has a big rose behind it. This long sleeve will not be restocked, nor will the next item. So as these are selling out, as I keep refreshing tpusamerch.com, I'm like, okay, well, I guess this is done before the live even starts. So the long sleeve also, oversized unisex fit. So if you size up, it will be huge. Originally, I always try the sizes out so I can give you guys an accurate description. I always size up. I always get mediums in my merch. This time, because I went for unisex styles, they're not women's, they're unisex. I got the mediums home and I tried them on and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm swimming in this. I have to exchange this for a small. So if you size up, I'm telling you it's going to be huge. I recommend getting your true size because it's already big. This is already big. Like this small long sleeve shirt is long on me. I'm 5'4". Let me stand. I'm 5'4". This covers my butt. Now, I have no butt, so just there's that disclosure. I'm tiny all the way around, so I don't really have a lot of butt. If you have a huge butt, it's probably going to fit perfect at the waist. But it is longer. Sleeves are longer, which I like, you know, coming over the fingertips. So this is a long sleeve. I chose a design for this that I felt like both men and women could wear. So for the dude-servatives, I mean, you'll have to let me know. I thought like this was a cool design that like works for both, okay? I thought it would work for both. This long sleeve is $40. TPUSAmerch.com. It is a thin, cozy material, great for layering, great for if you get hot easily. I live in Phoenix, so it's still 100-degree days. So, you know, I'm like faking it till we make it to fall. Love this. Leggings, sneakers, very casual. Okay, the next item, and this is absolutely the nicest thing we have ever sold in the merch store based on your response to the sticker in the fall 2023 sticker pack. The official stay-at-home mom university sweatshirt. Just wait. Crewneck, I should say. Stay-at-home mom university crewneck sweatshirt, TPUSAmerch.com. It also is an oversized unisex crewneck. I got a small, fits like a medium, fleece inside, light gray in color, and here is the big surprise. This is what makes this so special compared to anything that we have ever released before. Embroidered, y'all. Embroidered small chest pink ribbon on the front in the corner that says SAHM. Obviously, that stands for stay-at-home mom. But wait, you're like, but I'm not a mom, Alex. Wait. The stitching on this is incredible. You run your fingers over it, you're like, oh my gosh, this is high freaking quality. They're not playing any games. Alex did us right, as I always do. You can feel this quality. The back, now here's where, let me explain this if you're worried about, well, I love this, but I'm not a mom yet. Wait, the back features the stay-at-home mom university design. I love this art because anyone can wear this sweatshirt, this crewneck, I should say, whether you're a mom or not, because you got to think of it like college. So you go to college if you want to learn and become an expert in a certain field, right? See where I'm going with this? Or you might be an alumni or a graduate of a certain college. So whether you are currently a stay-at-home mom or you want to be one day, this crewneck is perfect, embroidered on the front, gorgeous big design, the stay-at-home mom university picture on the back. It has that, like, what do you call that? Like a crest. So it looks very collegiate. It's so chic. It's so freaking cute. It's just one of my favorite designs we've ever done. It's so creative. Absolutely no one else on earth has anything like this because every single piece of merch that we make is designed in-house with ideas from my brain and nobody else is going to get it. It's one of a kind. Not restocking. TPUSAmerch.com. Again, oversized fit, size down, and it has that special embroidery on it. So I will say this costs a little bit more than a typical crew neck for us. The crew neck, the long sleeve was what did I say it was? $40. This embroidered crew neck is $78. A little pricey, I know, but remember that all merch sales go towards the cost it takes to produce POPlitics and the spillover. We will not be restocking. Now, I will also say we only made 50 of the stay-at-home mom university crew necks. They will never be available again. TPUSAmerch.com. If you get one, tell us in the chat. So if you're not a stay-at-home mom yet, it's so cute. And if you are a stay-at-home mom, so cute. TPUSAmerch.com. Sorry if you're not trying to spend money, but it is what it is. And I just love it so much. Okay, that took a long time, but now we're going to finally get to the stories. I got to get a drink. Squeeze juice, immunity, mandarin, ginger, carrot, 100% juice, no water added, not concentrate, completely non-toxic, organic. Shop.squeezedjuice.com. It is my tried and true, my baby daddy, my everything. Shop.squeezedjuice.com. Code Alex. I believe you get 25% off at checkout. Shop.squeezedjuice.com. 25% off at checkout. All right. Will and Jada Smith announced that they've been secretly separated for 7 years. This news does not come as a shock, but it's certainly interesting in light of Slapgate and how Jada, I mean, she has branded and presented herself for years as this direct, straight talker on her now canceled podcast, RIP, Red Table Talk. According to Jada in a new interview, which I'm very excited to watch. Can I watch this if I don't have cable, NBC? Can you watch NBC if you don't pay for cable? I don't ever know. Okay. Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern on NBC with Hoda. She and Will Smith will be talking about how they have been living her and Will Smith are going to be talking about how they have been living completely separate lives for the last 7 years. Here is a preview clip of the interview. Now, it's a few minutes long. I didn't want to play like a 5-minute interview without interjecting. It's a little too long to go without me. But, so I've broken it up into parts, and I'll play them, and then I'll pause, and then I'll interact with them with you. So the reason she is doing this interview and a lot of interviews is because she has a new memoir coming out called Worthy, FYI. So that's what she's promoting. Here is clip number 1 from the interview coming out Friday night.
There are so many surprising things in the book, but the thing that surprised me the most, that I actually had to reread it because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce. So from the year 2016, which is 7 years ago now,
yes,
y'all have been apart.
Yeah.
But in public, the couple, who married in 1997, denied the gossip about their marriage. This interview on Bravo's Watch What Happens Live with Andy Cohen was taped a year after Will and Jada separated.
Hold on.
How long have you guys been together?
23 years.
Wow. That's amazing. How do you...
Okay, wait. Was that the number that was till 1 minute 40, right? Okay, sorry, I talked too soon. Okay, I was worried that we went too long. I couldn't remember. Okay, so number 1, right there. She's a liar and she's a bad actress. One of those we've always known. Continue with clip 2. And if you need to go back a little bit, since I interrupted, go back a little bit.
Over the next several years, Jada and Will kept up the appearance of a committed married couple. They even faced a scandal when Jada had what she called an entanglement with a family friend. Neither let the public know they had already split.
So I guess my question is, I feel like you're a straight talker.
I am.
Except you're not sometimes.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
Okay, I understand taking maybe a year at most to figure out as a famous married couple of 20 plus years. Okay, well, how are we gonna announce our separation to the public? Her excuse of a separation going on for 7 years because they just needed time to figure out how to talk about it makes 0 sense. 0. I would guess, if I'm betting on why in the world they would make this decision, I would guess that it must have been more lucrative from a business and celebrity standpoint to kind of continue this ruse of being a Hollywood power couple as opposed to just telling people the truth. I'm not sure, but let's continue with clip 3 because this is just getting interesting.
Jada reflected on their breakup.
Why did the relationship fracture?
Oh, well, why it fractured, that's a lot of things.
Yeah.
And I think by the time we got to 2016, we were just exhausted with trying. I think we were both kind of still stuck in our fantasy of what we thought the other person should be.
Jada says she considered a legal divorce, but could never go through with it.
I made a promise that there will never be a reason for us to get a divorce. We will work through whatever. And I just haven't been able to break that promise.
But you still live separately.
We live separately.
Okay, can I just bring up the fact that the family friend she slept with was her child's friend? So let's just get that straight, number one. Let me just remind you of that little tidbit. Also notice the hair. A lot of you in the chat pointing out, hello, the hair. Remember the whole alopecia thing? So just, there's that. You can't get a legal divorce. Let me just reiterate what she's arguing. You can't get a legal divorce because you made a promise and a vow to each other and you don't want to break it. So you just divorce anyways and think that somehow you have cheated the system by not actually just going to the courts to do it. Is that what I'm hearing? It's still a divorce. That's a divorce. What she is describing is still a divorce. You are sleeping with other people. You don't live together. You live entirely separate lives. That isn't marriage. You're spitting on marriage. And there is no moral justification for what you're doing. If you're going to just not be married, then yes, just get a divorce. They haven't been working it out for 7 years, it sounds like. So what is the point, I guess, of this not actually legally going through with it, but doing it otherwise? Like, what is the point of that? Now, if they were Christians, it's a different story. And I'm going to say something here. Since they're not Christians, I don't understand the argument of why not just get divorced. But also, I don't understand the point of marriage if you're not a Christian in the first place. So something that I've been thinking a lot about is I'm not really sure anybody should be getting married if you're not a Christian. If you're not a Christian, then I actually don't even think anyone should be getting married. Point blank, period. Marriages are largely failing, and I believe that's because a real marriage is supposed to be centered on God. If the goal of a non-Christian is to get married for one person to fulfill your needs or, fill this hole in your life, the truth is it's going to take more than one person to fulfill that emptiness in your life. So isn't it kind of written in the stars that it's not going to work out? Now just wait. Now for the Christians, this is going to get spicy. Drop an I'm ready in the chat if you're ready for some spice. One of my more spicier takes, and honestly, I'm just coming to terms with it myself. This isn't something I've always thought or even ever thought of. Just something recently I've been kind of thinking over. So just, if you're ready, let me know you're ready. My personal belief is that God hates divorce and that for the Christian, the only permissible reason to divorce, even though God doesn't like it still, the only permissible reason biblically is for abuse. Now, wait. You will find in Matthew 19:8 that is the case, that abuse would be the only permissible reason. However, God still hates it. But even so, if you are divorcing due to abuse, the abused is not called to remarry. 1 Corinthians 7:10 through 11. Now, Scripture says you are not permitted to remarry as a Christian unless your spouse dies. Unless your spouse dies. Again, guys, never thought about this until very recently. I'm still wrapping my head around it, but I told you this was going to be spicy even for the Christian conservatives. I would love to do a interview with someone on this subject for myself on the spillover or hear somebody else cover it on their podcast. So, if you should suggest this subject as a topic to some of your favorite Christian conservative podcasters and then send me the episode if they cover it. But 1 Corinthians 7:39 says, a wife is bound to her husband as long as he lives. But if her husband dies, she is free to be married to whom she wishes, only in the Lord. So, like a widow, if a man or woman remain faithful to their wedding vows before and after the marriage, death releases them. That is the only way you are released and permitted to remarry. The Bible says if you divorce due to abuse, that's the only reason for divorce, and then you should not get remarried. And if you do, then it is adultery. It is the same as adultery. Again, this is like so theologically deep, controversial, spicy, and so I want to interview somebody on this subject, or I'd love to listen to somebody else cover this on their podcast. But anyways, Jada and Will are not Christians. None of this applies to them. But just an interesting fun fact and rabbit hole on something I've been recently thinking about. If you think that I should do an episode of The Spillover on this, drop a ring emoji in the chat. And by the way, after the live is over, I always go back, because you can go back and like read the live chat. I always do. So if you think this is spicy and interesting and you think I should do a whole interview on this with somebody, then drop a ring in the chat. It's really difficult. It's like, there are certain things in the Bible that it makes you super uncomfortable, maybe angry. It's like, I do not like this. I don't want to hear about it, because obviously all of us have people in our lives that have divorced and remarried. I mean, probably most of our parents or people that we love or close friends or whatever. And it's like one of those things that's super uncomfortable, and you're like, but why, God? I don't understand it. And it's like one of those things as a Christian, it's like super uncomfortable, and then you look into it and you're like, but we have to obey God. It's just like one of those things that kind of sucks, but it is what it is. It's what God says. So again, that's a whole nother thing. But I know I'm getting spicy. This is like, I always like put my foot in my mouth and I always say the stuff and then everybody gets mad at me. And it's just every time. Okay, I drop a grenade and then I walk away. But so anyways, that's what I'm going to do. So anyways, since Jada and Will are not Christians, none of this applies to them. But just an interesting fun fact. And anyway, back to Will and Jada. If I am right, and the reason that they kept the separation secret for 7 years was for celebrity or business optics, now the public knows. So now I really don't see the point in staying together. I really don't see the point of that. And the other big question I have, immediately after I saw this news, I was like, now wait a minute. What was Slapgate actually about then? Jada wrote in her new memoir, Worthy, that Chris Rock actually asked her out on a date one summer while divorce rumors were swirling with her and Will. Now, every year for the last, decade or so, it's always like, are Will and Jada getting a divorce? Rumor has it Will and Jada are on the brink of divorce. So that's always been a thing. And I guess one of these summers where this was swirling in the news, Chris Rock actually reached out to her, asked her on a date, and said, I'd love to take you out. And she said, what do you mean? And he was like, well, aren't you and Will getting a divorce? And she said, no, Chris, those are just rumors. She said that Chris was appalled and profusely apologized. And that was that. They never spoke of it again. He never hit on her again. But then knowing that information, I'm like, okay, so was the slap the result of years of pent-up anger and humiliation and cuckery that Will Smith was forced to endure? Think about it. Why would he have done that? Him and Jada are basically divorced. They're not even living together. Why does he care if Chris Rock makes some kind of like joke about her on stage and then gets up and assaults him over it? Why would you do that? Don't you think maybe it was a little triggering knowing that this guy tried to date your wife, that your wife has been sleeping with your kids' friends behind your back, that she refuses to commit to you? Don't you think that would be a little triggering, just set you over the edge? Will Smith jeopardized his career, assaulted a man for absolutely nothing. Jada can't even get it together and work it out with the man who put everything on the line for her. Everything on the line. And maybe that was his spur of the moment grand gesture idea to get her back. And it didn't even work. So emasculating. And also, look at the Smith kids, okay? This whole, like, we're going to be together and be divorced, but not really divorced thing. The Smith kids, total weirdos. Total weirdos, certainly not well-adjusted, not normal. There's been rumors for years that Jada is a Scientologist. She has always denied it. She says that she isn't a member of the church, but has admitted to taking classes there. I don't know why in the world you would take classes from a cult if you weren't a member, but Leah Remini says that she is. Leah Remini says that Jada Pinkett Smith absolutely is a member of the Church of Scientology, so who knows, okay? It's a she said situation. But you know who isn't a problematic couple that I adore? The Beckhams. The Beckhams. But first, I got to shout out Squeeze Juice, which I am drinking today. This is my favorite juice company. They are a proud sponsor of the POPlitics live shows every week. I've basically sworn off all juices except this one. And, I mean, you got to shake it up because this is the real deal. Like, it's the real deal. And they're conservative owned. They come from a small family farm in California. They're 100% organic. Not from concentrate, no water added, non-GMO, 100% organic. Did I say that? And this is the immunity juice. This is one of my favorites. I drink this the most because this has mandarin, ginger, and carrot in it, which I really like for cold and flu season, which we're in. This is for the whole family can drink this. Your kids, the adults, everybody. And it is made with delicious fruits and vegetables. They ship fast within like 2 days on dry ice right to you. You can do a one-time purchase if you just want to try it out, or you can subscribe monthly so that they come to you monthly and you can count on it for your family's juice. That's what I do. Go to shop.squeezejuice.com. Use promo code. Jeez Louise. Go to shop.squeezejuice.com. Use promo code Alex for 25% off at checkout. That's shop.squeezejuice.com. Promo code Alex for 25% off at checkout. We're all obsessed with David and Victoria Beckham all over again. Some of us for the first time. For me, this is the first time. Thanks to the new docuseries Beckham on Netflix, I have this new obnoxious and annoying obsession with David and Victoria Beckham that I have never had. I have never cared about them. And I knew that they were a pretty big deal, but I think I've always just been a little removed from them personally, probably due to them being British. You know, we live in America, and so, like, British pop culture, it's just never been high on my radar. I'm just not into it. And also, they were really at their peak when I was very little. So I was born in 93. I was too young to know or appreciate the entire frenzy in the moment of their relationship. And then when I finally was old enough to get it, it was just like, well, I know that they're super famous or whatever. They've been together forever, but they were just not even really in the news at that point. For when I finally appreciated it, it's like, we never hear about them until now. I don't think I ever realized how much of a superstar couple that they were until this docuseries. The entire time I'm watching this on Netflix, I'm like, oh my gosh, they are the Travis and Taylor of the 90s. The public obsession, the crosshairs of being sports and pop culture. She's a pop star. He's a superstar athlete. Hello. The crazy paparazzi. Unhinged, her going to his games. I mean, it's like looking in the mirror to what we have seen in the last several weeks with Travis, Kelce, and Taylor Swift. Is it not? And I also just, until watching this, I've never appreciated just how absolutely beautiful this man has been since birth. It's like he shaved his head. He grows a beard. He gets neck tattoos. He wears a skirt. Yes, that happened. I didn't know that had happened. And somehow he's still a 10. David Beckham, one of the hottest men on earth, besides that quarterback that I posted about last night on YouTube Shorts, Sam Hartman. Sam Hartman and David Beckham, two of the hottest men I've ever seen in my life, ever. AI could never create this. If it wanted to, it could never create a man this beautiful. David Beckham in the 90s, unreal. Sam Hartman, quarterback of Notre Dame, I believe, unreal. Hottest men you've ever seen, most gorgeous men. So gorgeous, it's sick. In every look. Victoria is blessed, dog. Victoria Beckham is blessed. And he is still so hot, even at almost 50. I think he's 48 now. David Beckham is still so hot, and he is almost 50 years old. Now, this is what really got me going. This really excited me. So I had never seen their wedding photos until this Netflix special. I had never seen or heard of their, I don't know if, I saw it and it never registered. I've literally never seen it, but it's certainly, I didn't recognize the wedding photos. And it's the way I died at these. Grimace from McDonald's approved this wedding. Grimace from McDonald's wishes. Grimace wishes he could serve like this. Victoria and David Beckham wore head-to-toe purple and made their guests wear black and white. They didn't tell them they were going to wear purple. It was just a rule, like, if you're coming to our wedding, everybody has to wear black and white. The OK Magazine got the exclusive to photograph them and the wedding. So, like, the media was all like, oh my gosh, rumor is they're telling guests to wear black and white. Like, this is going to be such a dull wedding because obviously they're going to wear black and white. So, like, why would they do that? And then the pictures come out from OK Magazine and they look like Grimace. Grimace's parents, David and Victoria Beckham, they gave birth to little baby Grimmy. Baby Grimmy. It was just so iconic. And then, what I also didn't know, like, it's like, they've been together forever, but since I just am not super familiar with their story or their relationship, I just didn't understand, like, how much he loves Victoria. And the way that David Beckham loves Victoria with his whole heart, mind, and soul is so beautiful and so refreshing, not without its problems, which we'll get to. But it has always been her since day one. He would fly, he would drive several hours, whatever it took, they talk about it for a few minutes with her. If she was like, baby, I'm on tour, I literally have 30 minutes between your games and me being on, tour for Spice Girls, like, I have 30 minutes to see you today, he'd be like, done. And he would, like, spend the money, he would charter a plane, he would do whatever it took to have a few minutes with her. Ugh, so real. And they've managed to stay together for 24 years, despite what seems to be an affair or several affairs. So they barely this is the only frustrating part of the documentary, and this is really my only criticism of it. They barely touch on this on the doc, which was super frustrating. And I don't know if that is because, as the documentary creator, the documentary dude who's interviewing them gets too close to his subjects where it was, like, awkward and uncomfortable, and he befriended them too much to, like, want to talk about it, or if he was told that he couldn't. I don't think that they were, like, executive producers on this docuseries or anything, so I don't know why the documentary filmmaker couldn't ask them about the affair allegations. He really should have. I had never heard about the affair allegations before, but it seems like he did cheat on her when they had to spend a year apart when he was playing for Madrid. And this was like 2004. And I guess a couple women have accused David Beckham of cheating throughout the years. Drop in the chat what you know about them as a couple. If you're a little bit older than me and you remember the affair stuff in the tabloids, did it seem credible? Does it seem real? Do you believe it? Do you not believe it? I'm very curious what you think, because I was really shooketh. And it seemed like it was very difficult for them to talk about, which is why I think it's true, because it was like they talked about it in the docuseries very briefly without, like, saying it. Like, the interview guy who's asking the questions in the documentary, he doesn't say, tell me about, like, did you cheat or did you not cheat? Like, he never got them to say a direct answer, but they were like, yeah, so the Madrid stuff was, like, super difficult. That was, like, the hardest part of our marriage, like, all this. But it's like, well, what was difficult? The fact that he did have an affair confirmed, or just the rumors that he was when he wasn't? You know what I mean? Like, we need to know. So essentially, what ended up happening for me was that I'm watching this and I'm like, well, now this is making me crave more moments between the two of them. Like, I've never seen them interact like this, like an old married couple before. I need more. And now I want a reality show of the entire family. I want the Kardashians to be over. I want the Beckhams to take their spot. I want answers on the cheating allegations. But most importantly, they really seem hilarious as a couple. I love their dynamic. Play the Beckham clip number 1, please.
We're very working class.
Be honest.
I am being honest. I am being honest.
What car did your dad drive you to school in?
So my dad did.
No, one answer.
My dad.
What car was it?
All right, it's not a simple answer
what
because.
What did you get your dad to drive?
It depends.
No.
Okay,
What
in the
car?
80s, my dad had a Rolls Royce.
Thank you.
Like, they're hysterical. That was the best moment. That's the clip that's gone viral from the docuseries. Absolutely loved that. I need more. And don't forget that their son, Brooklyn, is 24 and married to Nicola Peltz. It's been rumored that Nicola and Victoria have not gotten along. They had a very rocky relationship. Did David and Victoria go to Brooklyn's wedding? Why am I thinking they didn't even go to the wedding? Like, there's been a lot of drama in that family. Again, perfect for reality TV. And Brooklyn and Nicola are very, very close friends with Selena Gomez. Like, literally together every day. It's almost like a little bit weird. It's like, I almost think she needs to back off a little bit because it's almost like a throuple situation, which I don't love. Like, you got to give them some time, but they are always with her. Always with her, traveling with her. It's like, it's kind of crazy. The Beckhams have 4 kids. I didn't realize they had so many kids either, including a 12-year-old daughter who is freaking precious. David just posted the cutest little reel of a bunch of moments with her on Instagram like a couple days ago. If you look up the David Beckham Instagram, there was a really cute reel that was just posted. Tell me if you can find it, and then we can play it for you, because I'm like, I've never even seen this girl in my life. He just posted it the other day. Go down a little bit, or go to the reels. Yeah. Do you see a child? No, that's not it. Go down a little. Yeah. Is this a birthday post? This isn't it either. I don't know. It's one of the recent reels. It's hard to tell where it is, but it was just in the last couple days. So she's 12 now. I'm telling you, like, this family is reality TV gold. Watch the docuseries, and your mans is going to like it because it mostly revolves around soccer. Oh, here's the reel of the daughter who no one's ever seen. So cute, right? Like, she's beautiful, beautiful girl, just turned 12. Yeah, I love this family. I need to know more. Anyway, yeah, you and your guy will both like it. I think it's only 4 episodes, Netflix. It's called Beckham, or the Beckhams or something, and mostly about his soccer career, but they throw some personal life stuff in there. Just not enough. Anyway, 2 new merch items, TPUSAmerch.com, the Spillover Black Rose long sleeve and Stay-at-Home Mom University sweatshirt. Oh my gosh. Okay, sales crashing in. Well, we're going to be almost sold out before the end of this live. Both are unisex sizing. Both are oversized. I got a small in both. They fit like a medium. So it's going to fit like the next size up. So also, this is good news. If you are bigger and, extra small is usually not big enough for you, it's going to fit like a double XL. So just keep that in mind, because this is unisex sizing, so it can fit a man. So there's that. Very high quality, will not be restocked. The Stay-at-Home Mom University, it's embroidered on the front there with a little ribbon that says SAHM. So cute. TPUSAmerch.com. And all money goes towards my shows, my team for equipment, sets, show expenses, like flying guests in so that we can film the Spillover in person, which is really huge. That really ups the quality for viewers. If you like to watch the Spillover or even listening, it just sounds better not having them remote when possible. So all of merch sales, TPUSAmerch.com, goes to help us directly. It doesn't go to anywhere else. It goes straight to my team. So please keep that in mind if you're like, well, this is kind of expensive or whatever. Like, everything I'm doing is free, but these little things are like the best way to help me out and us to be able to do these shows in the first place. So, just keep that in mind. There are less than 27 left of the Stay-at-Home Mom University crew. There are 27 left of the Stay-at-Home Mom embroidered university crew neck. There are less than 47 of the spillover rose long sleeve, which I think a guy or a girl can wear. Again, both unisex sizes. And the Stay-at-Home Mom University, so cute, whether you're a stay-at-home mom or not, because you could be a stay-at-home mom in training that you want to be one day, or you are currently. Also, keep in mind, Christmas is coming up. So if you're like, ooh, maybe not for me, but I know a cute conservative in my life who would absolutely love this, who would never buy it for herself, get it now, save it for Christmas, and gift it for Christmas. TPUSAmerch.com. Okay, JoshDML is a doomsday prepper, lives in a Minnesota compound in the middle of nowhere. Any Minnesota people in the chat, drop a you betcha if you're a Minnesota conservative in the chat. Who is arguing? Why are we arguing? No fighting in the chat. Absolutely no fighting. No fighting. Everybody get along. No fussing, no fighting, no pinching, no biting. Hello? Actor JoshDML is a doomsday prepper. He wants everyone to know it. It's a dirt cheap lakeside cabin property in Minnesota. It's on 26 acres. I guess his father first bought him he's calling it a tropical paradise. It's not a tropical paradise, but it's very funny. But his dad bought it for him like 15 years ago for only $75,000. You're not going to believe this. So wait till you see these pictures. His dad buys it for $75,000. Then Josh buys an extra $100,000 worth of land around it so he can get the 26 acres total. Absolutely shockingly cheap. Must have been like a total dump, and it must be in seclusion, like probably 10 days from the nearest airport or civilization, knowing Minnesota. You betcha. Don't you know? I lived in Rochester for half of third grade and all of fourth before moving back to Indiana. I was born in Indiana. Then we lived in Murfreesboro and Pulaski, Tennessee for a little bit. And then we moved to Rochester, Minnesota, where the Mayo Clinic is for a little bit. Got to experience the Mall of America, got to experience sledding at recess, having to have like a full-on snowsuit at recess, played outside in all weather, which is near and dear to my heart, and then moved back to Indiana and then entered public school and all that kind of stuff and lived in Indiana for the rest of my life until moving here to Arizona to do POPlitics. So anyway, back to JoshDML. So this property includes 3 wells, food plots, and fully functional outhouses, which he left in the original form. He's updated everything except the outhouses, which, yummy. I don't understand. I don't understand. Like, that would be the first thing I'm updating, but, I don't know. He doesn't plan on ever selling the property. He says that he has fixed up the original building so much that they're basically the Four Seasons compared to what they were before. So I was right. This was absolutely a dump before. And we'll have some pictures here of this little cabin in the middle of nowhere, Minnesota, that JoshDML lives in. And listen to this quote. JoshDML said, we live in a really delicate society where if we lose our cell phones, we're going to lose our minds. And said that it's scary to think about not being able to get a hold of fuel or food. Okay, hot. Fires in the chat for JoshDML, Doomsday Prepper Daddy. Doomsday Daddy, please. This is in Minnesota. He said, I just wanted a place to be able to get away until things get back to normal. Plot twist, they never will. You and I know that. That was all part of the pandemic. That was all the plandemic. That was all part of the plan, was to make sure things never go back to normal. Remember, this is the new normal. You are winning at life if you live in the country. Josh has a 29-year-old pregnant wife. He used to be married to Fergie. What do you think? A guy being a doomsday prepper, hot or not? Hot or not? In the chat, let us know. Hot or not? A little weird for you, or like, no, I like that. I'd be attracted to that. I guess he has like a bunch of old newspapers from the 50s or something that he uses as wallpaper in there. That's a picture of that. And you know what? I vote hot. I want me a primal man who knows how to live off the land if we have to, but he also knows what Aritzia is. Is that fair? That's my dream. Caveman, but make it fashion. He knows how to be a city mouse and a country mouse. He's trans societal mouse. He knows how to be a city mouse and he knows how to be a country mouse. Mouse man. He's Stuart Little. He's Stuart Little Monday through Friday, but he's Fievel Goes West Saturday and Sunday. He's Ratatouille when he's got to be, but also he's Mickey Mouse out there trying to find him a Minnie. Would I use this outhouse toilet to be with JoshDML? I think, yeah. Maybe that was like what his whole thing was. He was like, you know, I am redoing this cabin. It's still like the teeniest, tiniest, not that exciting cabin. But if we're going to be in the woods and roughing it, we got to poop like we're roughing it. I mean, I really don't understand the thought process. Maybe it just wasn't that bad. I don't know. I just can't imagine if the house was a dump that so much that you had to redo it to live in, that the outhouse wouldn't be. But it's so beautiful. And it's right on this huge lake, or there are pictures of the lake. I mean, this is living. It's the way that, like, before the pandemic, this would have been torturous to me. I would never marry a man that wanted to live in the middle of nowhere. And now I would absolutely consider it. I mean, I need to be within a certain mile radius of a Sephora, but I would consider it. I need Stuart Little meets Fievel Goes West. I want a city mouse and a country mouse. He gets the 5-star cheese and he cuts the cheese. I want a man who can do both. JoshDML types call me. That's his pregnant wife, who's half his age. I don't know if they already have a kid together or not. I know he's a kid with Fergie, or at least one kid with Fergie. We're just mousing around. Anyone else just mousing around? Did you thumbs up this live yet? Thumbs up the live if you haven't. Did you buy fall merch yet? Buy the fall merch. Because what we're not going to do, tpusamerch.com, what we're not going to do is this live will end and I will get 30 DMs rapid fire all saying, well, now it's sold out and now I didn't get any, so I need you to restock it. No, I'm telling you right now it's going to sell out, and I better not get any DMs asking me to restock, because we're not going to. We're not going to. That's what makes the merch special. It's a if you get it, you get it, and if you don't, you don't. You got to be fast. You got to be watching the live so you can make sure that you get them. Right now, tpusamerch.com, 18 stay-at-home mom university crews available. 18, that's it. 33 spillover long sleeves available. The spillover with Alex Clark, little cute rose, love you mean it bye, letters, acronym on the sleeve. Love this with leggings and sneakers. Loved it in the airport. Not too hot, not too cold. On the plane. tpusamerch.com, only 33 of these. 18 stay-at-home mom university crews, tpusamerch.com. Drop in the chat also, who has the best Israel updates, in your opinion, that you've been enjoying? Like, for people who want to listen to that content, just what are your recommendations? Like, who is the best podcast for this? You know, best Twitter that you've been following or whatever for all things Israel, Middle East stuff. Now, not Israel related, but just a new, well, it's not even a new podcast. They've got 400 episodes. They're new to me. I didn't know about it. Not Israel, but new podcast that I am obsessed with this week is Wise Traditions. I will be shocked if anyone knows what this is. I'm going to feel like so late to the game. Wise Traditions for all things health-related, healthy food. Thank me later. Oh my gosh, I love this podcast. I've just been binging episodes, and they're not too long. They're like 30 minutes each. So good. This girl interviews different like experts on different things, from baby formula to like regenerative agriculture. It's so simple to understand. Like literally every health food related topic they go over and explain. And like, I don't know, I've learned so much in the last 24 hours, and now I'm obsessed. Wise Traditions, that's that podcast. Thank me later. Now, announcement. Nobody leave. Announcement. No POPlitics Live next Wednesday. I know. No POPlitics Live next Wednesday, all right? I am speaking that night at Morehead University. It's right outside of Lexington, Kentucky. It's a true crime event. It's called Don't Turn Out the Lights with Alex Clark. It is not for little ears. It is not for little ears. I mean, I guess you can if you want, but I just am telling you, these are my scariest true crime stories. Very disturbing, sexual abuse, violence. I'm not holding anything back. These are the scariest true crime stories that I know. It's at Morehead University, live in person, 7 p.m. in the Adron Doran Theater. Adron Doran, I don't know how you pronounce it. Adron Doran Theater, Morehead University, next Wednesday, 7 p.m. This is in right outside of Lexington, Kentucky. This is a free event, open to the public, but you do have to RSVP. So what I'm going to say is, if you want the link to go to this, if you live in Kentucky, you want to come, I'll do pictures, meet and greet, talk to each of you, all of that kind of stuff. If you want to go, it's free, but you have to RSVP. So DM me and ask me if you want the Morehead University link to get tickets. DM me. I will give you the link, okay? So I will see you there. So POPlitics Live will be back October 25th. Wednesday, October 25th. If you want to put that in your calendar, no POPlitics Live next Wednesday. Back on October 25th. Now, another announcement. Let me get a drink again. Squeeze juice. Code Alex, 25% off. Immunity juice, mandarin, ginger, carrots. Got a little kick to it. Faith is in the chat. Faith is the VP of Morehead University TPUSA chapter who is hosting me, and she's in the chat. Yay! Okay, I don't know if there's a live stream of that event or not, but Faith, you can answer that in the chat if there will be a live stream or if people need to get tickets. So DM me if you want that link. All right, the other thing, announcement. I am so excited for Spillover this week. It is going to melt your face off, blow your socks off. It is a water hose of knowledge on all things childcare and daycare and being a working mom. I know, and I get it, that all of the daycare talk, all the childcare talk really is upsetting for those of you who are working moms. You feel like, well, then what am I supposed to do? I feel like now I'm a failure. I'm not doing good enough. Wait till you hear this episode, because I am talking to a psychoanalyst who specializes in child development and child care, specifically has been speaking about daycare and the dangers of daycare for years, the tier system of what child care is best and why, and then going through them and being like, all right, so best case scenario, you do this. Second case scenario, you do this. Third, fourth, fifth. She goes through all of it. She explains it. And then she also has practical tips and extremely helpful knowledge if you are a working mom on exactly how you should structure your schedule, your work schedule as a working mom that is conducive for having children under 3 years old. So the big thing about this episode is we're focusing on child development between infancy and 3 years and what is crucial in that time. And she talks about so a lot of people had questions for me well, what if I work part-time? Am I supposed to do a few hours every day, like Monday through Friday, or is it best to do 2 days a week, but it's, 8-hour days on those days? Or how should I structure my schedule? What's better to have more time with my kids in the morning versus night, or night versus morning? All these things. We cover everything. And no one will be able to say, well, I still don't agree that daycare is that bad. No one will be able to say that after this episode. She will put the fear of God in you, but she is understanding of people. Number one, if you just never knew, or need to make changes or whatever, it will put the fear of God in you, but it will equip you with so much knowledge so that you know what to do. And yes, even if you are a single mother or a widow, or you're on low income or whatever. We discuss all of this. So it's going to blow your mind. You're going to feel like, holy crap, I'm so encouraged. I have all this information that I've never heard anybody talk about, and I am ready to make a change that is going to benefit my children's in a hugely positive way and my family in a hugely positive way. And we're not even saying that you necessarily have to give up your job. So I just want you to keep all of that in mind when you see that the episode is about daycare and childcare this week. All right. New episode of that drops on the Real Alex Clark YouTube and then Spotify, Apple, anywhere you get your podcasts, midnight Eastern tomorrow night or 9 p.m. Pacific. Please post this episode of all episodes this year. Please post this episode to your stories when it comes out. I just have this huge desire. I don't know. It was like just God laid this on my heart this year. I have this huge desire and calling to get young moms and young women the information on daycare and being there in the first 3 years. I just had never heard this stuff before. And now I'm like, if I've never heard it, like so many other women I know have never heard it. Our generation grew up daycare with being very normalized and like it's just this or that, stay home or daycare. Like two-parent, so many two-income households putting your kids in daycare. Just this whole thing is just so normalized in American culture and it shouldn't be. And there's other options and nobody knows about it and nobody knows how they can afford it and all the others. So all of that will be discussed before you come for me. Major desire in my heart. So please share it. Like the reel when it comes out. Hyping up the episode. Comment hyping up the episode. Just tell everybody I'm so excited for this and share it with all your friends and family members. I need all hands on deck sharing this week, please. This is a huge initiative for my brand that I want women to get this knowledge. TPUSAmerch.com. Do not delay getting this new fall merch. Send me DMs asking me, or if you have questions about the Morehead University event next week, send me a DM. I'll get you the link. Thumbs up this video on your way out. Subscribe to Real Alex Clark anywhere you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Join the Conservatives Facebook group if you have not yet. Every week we do this and then we get more members of the Conservatives Facebook group, which is super fun. That's where all the conversation that you see in the live chat, it's like that times 10, and it's, all the time about stories, 7 days a week, not just during the live. So if you want the camaraderie, the community in the conversation, Conservatives on Facebook for all that conservative. I will see you Wednesday, October 25th at 4 p.m. Pacific, 7 p.m. Eastern. It's pop culture without the propaganda. I'm Alex Clark, and this is POPlitics.